Okay, chapter 5. So this segment right here, this blue segment is a mid segment because you have, this is the midpoint, and this is a midpoint because of these marks. So a mid segment, you double the mid segment in order to get this segment. So I do 2 times 3x plus 3 equals 8x. So then 6x plus 6 equals 8x. 2x equals 6, x equals 3 is your answer. And then this is using the angle bisector theorem. So also I know that these two triangles are congruent by angle side, so therefore their corresponding parts have to be congruent. So I set 7x plus 3 equal to 10x minus 9. And then I'm going to get 3 equals 3x minus 9. X equals 4. And then number 42. Write the inverse and contrapositive. So if you have P implies Q, the inverse is not P implies not Q. And the contrapositive is not Q implies not P. Or you can use this symbol as the same thing as not. These two are the same. So number 42, if two triangles are congruent, then their corresponding angles are congruent. So if two triangles are not congruent, then their corresponding angles are not congruent. If two triangles are not congruent, then their corresponding angles are not congruent. That's false. And then if their corresponding angles are not congruent, then the two triangles are not congruent. That's true. Or if their corresponding angles are not congruent, then the two triangles are not congruent. That's true. And then I'm just going to read 43. So 43, the inverse is, if you do not live in Toronto, then you do not live in Canada. That's true. Wait, that's false. If you do not live in Toronto, then you do not live in Canada. You could live in Ontario, Canada. So you wouldn't be living in Toronto, but you would be living in Canada. And then the contrapositive is, if you don't live in Canada, then you don't live in Toronto. That's true. So you can't live in if you're not living in Canada, you can't live in Toronto. And then 44, identify the two statements that contradict each other. So kind of think of it as drawing a sketch. So PQR is equilateral. Triangle PQR is a right triangle. PQR is isosceles. So the two ones that can't happen at the same time would be this one. You could have an isosceles right triangle, but you can't have an equilateral triangle with 60-degree angles and then have a right triangle that has a 90-degree angle. 45. L and M are skew. L and M do not intersect. Those two could happen at the same time because skew lines do not intersect. Now I'm going to check 2 and 3. L and M do not intersect. L is parallel to M. That's also true because parallel lines don't intersect. But what you can't have is this one and this one. These two contradict each other because the definition of skew lines are that they can't be parallel. So if I have this box, the skew lines would be this one and this one. You couldn't have these two lines right here are parallel, and those are not skew. You can't have skew and parallel at the same time. And then 46 lists these from least to greatest. So A, B, C. BC is 7. Oops, BCD. BCD. BC is 7. CD is 12. And BD is 16. So from least to greatest is opposite the longest side is the smallest angle. So that's angle D. Opposite the medium side is the medium angle. So that's angle B. And opposite the longest side is the largest angle, and that's angle C. 47. Two sides of a triangle have lengths of 9 and 12. What is the length of the third side? So you do 12 minus 9 is 3. And 12 plus 9 is 21. So it has to be anywhere between 3 and 21. Number 48. Philip was making triangles with sticks. He has a 6-inch stick and a 3-inch stick. Which can he not use to make a triangle? So you're kind of doing exactly what you did right here. So he could make a 6 minus 3, 3 to 9, but not including 3 and 9. If he makes a 3-inch triangle, or use the 3-inch stick, we won't be able to close it. So the answer is C.